Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to Talk of the Town for this Monday, May 17th. I'm Gary Stevens. Third Monday of the month, we hear from the two men who represent the Lakeshore in the state Senate. Last hour, we chatted with State Senator Eric Nesbitt of Lawton. He represents Allegan County. And on the other side of our Zoom connection in this half hour, we chat with first-term Republican State Senator Roger Victory of Hudsonville, who represents Ottawa County. Roger, good morning and welcome back to WHTC.
Good morning, Gary. Joining by Zoom. Hopefully the connection's coming through. I was doing some district hours up in Grand Haven and did not quite make it back in time to get to my office in Hudsonville. So made it to Hudsonville, but found myself in a parking lot. So we're going to do the radio interview from a good parking lot in the good city of Hudsonville this morning.
Sounds great. And if you have a question for Roger, he'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. During our What's New Around Holland segment before you joined us, Roger, Patty Vanderberg was talking about not just the in-district hours you just had in Grand Haven, but the one coming up in Holland on Thursday. Huh? It begs the question, has anybody challenged you yet to a game of bowling, or in the case of BAM, a game of laser tag yet?
You bring it up. I'm sure that may occur. We've been doing that with Representative Brad Slaw, and it's been good dialogue, number of different issues, and making ourselves available to our constituents. And so it's been and usually I have a staff person, my district person Rachel Morrison, been joined with me, and a lot of the issues, like today too, up in Grand Haven, specific unemployment concerns. We have a number of people that still have been blocked out of the system with the software that's used by the unemployment system. We could do a whole show on that, Gary, just the ineptness of that. But I know our office has individually handled over 1,482 cases. I know other there were good representatives offices here in Ottawa County have done similar work, and there are those certain cases that you just almost need to contact your state representative or senator's office to get that navigated through, because the system just has blocked these people out through one reason or another. And so that work continues on.
If you got a question for State Senator Roger Victory, he'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. The unemployment question I'm going to bring up and sort of continue along those lines, Roger. And you walk the line not only as a state lawmaker, but as a businessman yourself with Victory Farms. Are you finding that some are claiming that the issues we're having now with employment, in fact, there was a business in Jenison that was closed on this past Saturday because they didn't have enough staff. There are positions open, but people aren't taking positions or aren't applying for them. Some say it's because the unemployment, shall we say, is a little generous, and people may be earning more by not working than actually working. As a small businessman, maybe you're seeing it as well. You're trying to find people to fill spots, and right now, businesses are crying for employees, and employees aren't coming through.
Yeah, Gary, there's definitely a mismatch occurring out there as our economy is coming back, especially in the restaurant trade, our entertainment trade. Let's talk about the Holland community, our tourist trade. Even during tulip time, we didn't have the traditional tulip time, but you even seen the businesses that were trying to serve the good folks that came up for tulip time. It's limited staffing capacity, and I literally was at a local business last week and was going to get my coffee through the drive-through, and it was shut down. And the sign said we are taking applications, but we do not have staff to be open. So the issue with the unemployment is a real issue. It is not just here in Michigan; it's nationwide. And that has to, and I know coming of June, if you're on unemployment, you have to now be gainfully seeking employment, but sometimes that can be always a whole process too. But one of the biggest issues we're facing, no matter if you're in the restaurant trade, hospitality, manufacturing, our A1 class manufacturers here in our community, and we can list those names. Direct hire. I have a cousin that works in the office furniture manufacturing, and she's getting close to retirement. And there again, she was indicating no summer vacations of making available because they can't even get the college students that normally would come in. So it puts pressures on those who are employed. So this is an issue that's going to come to the forefront. I do believe some aspects can create an incentive. Basically, can you give it something to get those into the work? And but yeah, with those robust benefits, we will diminish that labor pool.
616-395-1450. Let's get to the phones. Good morning. You're on the line with State Senator Roger Victory.
Well, good morning, Gary. Thank you again for taking my call. And Mr. Victory is just one of the fellows I really had hoped to talk to. So, Senator Victory, are you familiar with Patrick Colbeck?
Yes, I in fact served when I was in the House. He was a senator, and I know fond memories with Senator Colbeck. On Wednesday morning, we had a Bible study group, and he was always a participant of that Bible study group that would meet early in the morning.
Well, good.
And
that's good to hear. Are you aware of what's going on in Antrim County regarding election manipulation?
Yeah, in fact, we have that election review process going forward. I know Senator Colbeck has been very involved in there, and that's why in the Senate we've been having continued oversight committee by Senator Ed McBroom. We've introduced 39 bills, which I've been a co-sponsor of a number of those bills. In fact, we were doing district hours up in Grand Haven. The security of the election process was brought up. And even in our own county, we've been so blessed with our clerk, Justin Robeck. In fact, Justin Robeck has been in Lansing testifying in committee on elections reform, because this is an example how we do in Ottawa County. In fact, number of my bills have been like emulating the processes that how Ottawa County does
Victory,
it. Let's make that statewide. Let's make that statewide.
Mr. Victory.
Go finish it, and then we'll get the caller's statement. Go ahead, Roger. Finish up.
Yes. So the key item is, as we address these things that we've seen in Antrim County and those concerns going forward, these issues need to be addressed, and that's what we're working on with this robust bill package of election reform.
Okay, now go ahead, caller,
Hello?
and finish up. Yes, you're
Hello?
back. Yeah, you're back with us.
Are you hearing me, Mr. Victory?
We had to stop you for a moment to let Roger finish his thoughts. You can now go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm really concerned in that there seem to be so many people in Washington and in Lansing that are much more interested in talking than in listening, and they're not paying attention to their constituency. I have no wonderful pats on the back, kudos for something going forward. But how about laws that have been broken in the past, including by our Secretary of State? What are you doing about that?
Go ahead, Roger.
And there again, the testimony came out through these 39 bills. Hopefully you've been able to dig into those bills going forward, because the certainty and security of these elections are critical. We talk about auditing the election process. That's something that's on the forefront too, making sure we have the term forensic audits, I believe. And if we do the forensic audit, making sure that we have all the parties agreeing on that issue too. So yeah, work continues on, and I appreciate those people like Senator Colbeck bringing these issues forward, because we got to get this right. Our future depends upon it.
Are you pushing for a forensic audit?
That is a discussion that I believe, getting a correct audit done. Now, the things, there's some lessons learned in Arizona.
Are you interested in a forensic audit?
Correct. I would like to see something of that nature, but in doing so, lessons have to be learned. Like Arizona, we have to make sure we have all the stakeholders on hold, because if we do this audit, then the other audit process, there's multiple techniques, who's going to be performing it. And that's where our discussion is going forward. If you do an audit, we got to make sure everyone's on board saying this is the process, or always we proceed down there, and then we'll have this other stakeholder group say this wasn't satisfactory and this or that. So that's why we're listening and taking the input.
Integrity is very important, but I would say
Correct.
that a forensic audit is not the same as your suggestion of something similar. That's like saying a dog and a cat both have 4 legs, so they're
Right.
the same.
And
we need a forensic audit if Michigan citizens are to have faith in the election integrity.
And in the terminology, what does the forensic audit all include? So we got to make sure we have agreements upon that. So appreciate the insight and appreciate the work because this is, like you said, critical to getting the certainty and confidence back into our elective system.